It begins with a clash, one that stretches far beyond Washington politics and into the halls of international justice. The International Criminal Court, seated in The Hague, is furious with the Trump administration. And when the ICC is angry, it doesn't whisper. It issues warnings that echo across borders. One observer even went so far as to caution Donald Trump, Pete Hegseth, and Marco Rubio directly, half joking, half deadly serious. I hope they don't have vacations planned. Because here's the truth. By now, even the most loyal Republican voter knows the weight of Trump's baggage. He is not just a controversial figure. He is a convicted felon, an adjudicated sexual predator, twice impeached, accused of interfering with elections, and the man who incited an insurrection on American soil. That's not political spin. That's the record. But Trump's battles aren't confined to the United States. Since his very first term, he has been on a collision course with the International Criminal Court. For those unfamiliar, the ICC was born in 2002. A multinational tribunal designed to investigate and prosecute the gravest crimes, war crimes, crimes against humanity, genocide. It was meant to be a safeguard for humanity when nations themselves failed to deliver justice. And yet, the United States never signed on. The reason? The Bush administration feared that American leaders and soldiers could one day find themselves in the dock, accused of war crimes. That shadow has loomed ever since. Still, the ICC has not shied away from criticizing American politicians, and Trump, in particular, has found himself in its crosshairs. Earlier this year, tensions boiled over when the court condemned Israel and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu for committing genocide in Gaza. Trump, a staunch defender of Netanyahu, lashed out at the ICC. What followed was a bitter standoff, one that underscored just how fragile the relationship between America and international law has become. This is not just about Trump. It's about the United States' uneasy dance with global accountability. The ICC was built to hold the powerful to account, no matter their title or nation. But when the world's most powerful country refuses to play by those rules, the question becomes, who then is truly untouchable?
We start in the United States, where Donald Trump has denounced the International Criminal Court, accusing it of illegitimate and baseless actions against the US and Israel. In an executive order sanctioning the court, he said it had abused its power by issuing arrest warrants for the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant. The court alleges they committed war crimes and crimes against humanity in Gaza. Well, on Thursday, Mr. Netanyahu met top US lawmakers on Capitol Hill. Neither Israel nor the US is a member of the ICC or recognizes its jurisdiction.
But what does any of this have to do with Pete Hegseth and Marco Rubio? We're getting there. To understand that connection, you first need to know what set the stage. After the International Criminal Court issued an arrest warrant for Benjamin Netanyahu, Donald Trump didn't just disagree. He went on the offensive. He turned his anger toward the court itself, trying to discredit and attack the very institution that had dared to challenge one of his closest allies.
The International Criminal Court, once again the target of the Trump administration. The U.S. State Department announced new sanctions on 4 ICC officials on Wednesday.
So to sum it up, Donald Trump despises the International Criminal Court for one simple reason. Like any legitimate court, it dares to hold him accountable for crimes and refuses to be bullied by his attempts to intimidate its judges. And now, it seems that reckoning may be catching up with him. Over the past month, the Trump administration has launched a series of deadly strikes on boats leaving Venezuela. The most recent attack, just last week, ended with everyone on board killed. Trump, flanked by his Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and Secretary of State Marco Rubio, has justified the bombings by claiming the vessels were carrying narcotics. Yet, despite the dramatic accusations, his administration has offered no proof, and those strikes may now be producing unintended consequences. In a lengthy essay for the Wall Street Journal, later reported by Raw Story, conservative law professor Eugene Karavich of George Mason University's Scalia Law School drew a chilling comparison. He argued that Trump is committing the very same kind of war crimes that landed Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte in the ICC's crosshairs earlier this year. Duterte had ordered the summary execution of suspected drug traffickers. Trump, Karavich suggests, is doing something eerily similar, only this time with bombs dropped on boats in the Caribbean. Even more striking, Karavich warned that Hegseth and Rubio themselves could face ICC charges for their roles in these operations. In fact, he suggested they might even become scapegoats, sacrificed in Trump's place, tried for crimes against humanity, while the former president hides behind the shield of Secret Service protection. After all, arresting a former U.S. president is complicated. Arresting his cabinet members? Far less so. They don't have permanent government security, and while Washington would certainly object, it's unlikely the U.S. would go to extraordinary lengths to block an international trial. That means if Hegseth or Rubio were to take a casual overseas vacation, they might not return home so easily. The Journal piece also noted that the ICC often issues sealed indictments, meaning they wouldn't even see their arrests coming. And here's the irony. Donald Trump thrives on spectacle. Can you imagine his reaction to an international trial of his own former cabinet members? He'd revel in the attention, the cameras, the headlines, the drama. It's the kind of made-for-TV chaos he's always loved. Picture it, a Ryan Murphy-produced docuseries. International crime story, Drinky Pete and Little Marco. You'd watch it, I'd watch it, the whole world would. But beyond the dark comedy of it all lies something deadly serious. The ICC is watching, the world is watching, and Trump's campaign of bombing boats without evidence may yet bring real consequences, not just for him, but for those who chose to stand beside him. For now, all eyes remain on The Hague, waiting to see if justice will finally catch up. Thanks for hanging out with me today. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who'd love it too. Until next time, stay curious and stay inspired.